Peafo Network. This is Jason with The New Normal. Your crazy is my story. That seer of seer, prognosticator of prognosticators, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow this year, and so predicted an early spring to the cheer of thousands of revelers. This is one time the internet fails to capture the excitement of a large squirrel predicting the weather. While some try to beat the high price of movie theater candy by sneaking their own in, a man in Pullman, Washington decided to save money another way. By sneaking in another person. By using oversized clothes and a front carry configuration, Bo Johnson snuck his friend Matthew into their local theater. Commuters in Miami saw an interesting sight last week on the eastbound side of Highway 836. A traffic stop in reverse. As Claudia Castillo managed to pull over a Miami-Dade police officer she believed was going at least 90 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone when he zoomed past her. Whereas the police in Amsterdam are considering a novel way to deal with the potential issues from amateur drone use. Trained eagles. The company Guard from Above is working with Dutch police to train eagles to recognize drones as prey. After a recent rash of strange coyote encounters along a stretch of Highway 1 in Bolinas, California, wildlife officials are speculating the animals may have been tripping on hallucinogenic fly agaric mushrooms. Or maybe they just really wanted to play Mario Bros. Maybe we really are heading back to the future, as the Low Volume Motor Vehicle Manufacturers Act is allowing the DMC-12, better known as the DeLorean, to resume production in 2017. Although it will be built with original parts, it will include a new modern engine and cost around $100,000. Finally, when an Alabama woman let her bloodhound, Ludivine, out to pee, she didn't realize the 2-year-old dog would be taking up a new hobby. Ludivine joined the local half marathon, and despite stopping to visit some cows, greet another dog, and smell a dead rabbit, managed to finish in 7th place.
First and foremost, I think technology is amazing. And I think that the more we progress as a society, as a nation, as a world unit, the more we learn about the things around us, and the complexities become more and more achievable. What happens, though, in a time when technology is the basis to almost everything we do, down to how we interact with people? No one pops in anymore like they used to. I sort of miss not knowing when someone would stop by. I remember having someone knock on the door and my mother would quickly and mildly stressed say, "Check who it is." We would look through the peephole or the window and announce who it was. This dictated how much panic cleaning we had to do before we opened the door. If it was just the mailman, no additional cleaning was needed. Don't get me wrong, our house was almost always immaculate. Mother was very tidy and taught us to be the same. Oh, the fond memories of childhood. I was always excited when people would come over, and more importantly, people interacted. So what happened? Now we spend our time on Facebook, Twitter, or glued to our phones playing games or texting with our friends. The disconnect is insane. No longer do we contact our family members and friends to personally invite them to events, but instead we post it and await their replies. Personally, I'm old school. I prefer to be contacted in person, and especially from people who consider themselves to be close to me. I want to reiterate that I love technology, and I think that social media and all the other components that come with it are amazing. But I hope that we all remember to connect in personal and intimate ways. The mall used to be a place where you went to for shopping or hanging out with friends, and the more often I go to one, the more I hear less noise and see people facing their phones quietly posting or texting their friends, sometimes even texting a friend who's only a foot away from them. What has happened to us as a society? Let's embrace our modernity, but let's remember that lonely feeling we get when our phones stay silent. Our devices will never interact with us like people will, so remember to actually talk to the people you love and remind them of how much they mean to you through meaningful interaction in person.
Praise the alien overlords, the X-Files is back. We are halfway through the 6-episode run, and it has not disappointed. From the looks of things, the storyline is skipping over that horrid attempt to revive things, the X-Files I want to believe. Trust me, if you saw it, you wanted to believe that you didn't. This new limited run series has followed real time, starting 14 years after the original 9-season run ended. It's found Mulder and Scully as private citizens. During this first episode, we see the return of Assistant Director Skinner, who has called Scully back into service to investigate an alien story. She brings Mulder back into it, and the first episode is spent on the mythos of the original series. It takes a unique perspective on the alien storylines, making it all about the government being behind everything. This episode ends with the Smoking Man making a brief reappearance. What's making this limited run so great is its ability to hit all the best parts of the original series. In 3 episodes, we've had one focused on the alien abduction theme that threaded throughout the original run, and the one good movie, followed by a Monster of the Week type episode, which is what brought a lot of the people to the show in the first place. That brings it to the 3rd episode, and probably my favorite of the new ones, a Monster of the Week comedy episode. Some on the internet are calling this the worst of the new season, but the series was known for having the occasional humorous episode. Who can forget the season 5 episode with Luke Wilson, And the scene with the Appalachian teeth and the line, "You must be one of them government people." This new episode featured Rhys Darby, Kumail Nanjiani, and Tyler Labine, and had me laughing out loud several times. And with the 100% audience rating on Rotten Tomato, I guess most agree with my assessment.
Hi, welcome to Ahmad's Craft Corner, where I find you, our viewers, some of the best in arts and crafts on the internet. I saw that some people are making cat hammocks. What a marvelous idea. Those little critters do need a special place to tuck her out in.
Yeah, because Fluffy here looks really uncomfortable. Really, guys, cats will be content almost anywhere. If you have enough time to worry about your cat's comfort level and make a cat hammock, maybe you should redirect that energy into, I don't know, your local shelter or charity. They sure are cute, though.
Most of my friends have children but seem to have a hard time keeping things organized. Why not label things around the house to help them learn where things go? A place for everything and everything in its place.
Before you get crazy labeling everything, let's think about this. Sure, labeling the sugar, flour, and other baking essentials makes sense, but labeling does not replace good parenting. What did people do before the era of label makers? Run around like mad not knowing where everything went? No, everyone was just fine. In fact, children in days past were more well-behaved than they are today. So I think labels are making our kids dumb. Ban the labels.
A friend of mine told me that she was considering a nude family photograph, but was so nervous about the idea. I found a wonderful link where she can order anatomically correct bodysuits for her and her family. Now she can take that nude photograph without actually being naked.
I'm no prude, and I have no problem with nudity, even in a family situation. My only issue is of boundaries. Curiosity is one thing, but you don't just reach out and touch somebody. What will families do next? Become zombies?
If nudity is a problem in your family, why not make their toys more appropriate by coloring permanent undergarments on all their dolls? Make sure to use a Sharpie. You don't want those little tykes to go washing them off.
So what then? Kids will run around coloring all over themselves and then grow up to be adults with tattoos, body modifications, and join a circus? Just kidding, guys. On a real note, body shaming is bad. And instead of teaching them to be afraid of their naked bodies, teach them to embrace that beauty. I'm not saying run around naked all the time. I love clothes way too much. But what I am saying is don't teach them to be embarrassed that they have a body.
Do consider a theme for your party. Whether it is the food or the decorations, there are many online sources with a multitude of ideas.
Don't go to a friend's theme party in the wrong clothes. If they said cocktail and you agreed to go, you better show up in cocktail attire. If they said the theme was Western, don't show up in sweats and a t-shirt. The invitation did not say trailer park.
Come to think of it, that could be a fun thing, note to self.
Do set a guest list and stick to it. There's nothing like inviting too many people and then running out of food and drinks.
Don't go bringing your entire family. The guest list said you plus one. It didn't say you plus 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, I get it. I'm Latino. We travel in groups sometimes. But in today's modern day and age, we text each other before we show up at someone's house. So don't go bringing any uninvited guests without first clearing it with your host.
Do invite your friends over for a quaint luncheon or an early dinner, followed by some games and intimate conversation.
Don't invite your friends over for an intimate lunch or dinner only to surprise them with more guests. Maybe they were looking forward to hanging out with just you one-on-one instead of being bombarded with a bunch of strangers.
Do bring a dish to your friend's potluck. But be sure to inquire if there's a theme or if they'd prefer you to bring an appetizer, savory dish, or dessert.
Don't show up at your friend's Mediterranean-themed party with chips and salsa. Did they say this was Latin-inspired? I don't think so. The invitation clearly said Mediterranean. Don't be offended if you see it off in the corner. You did this to yourself.
Do show up within a reasonable time. If the host said 6 p.m., 15 to 20 minutes in either direction is acceptable.
Don't show up an hour before the event. Your host is not ready for you. They're probably still running around getting everything together, and the last thing they want is you there while they're still preparing. What is wrong with you?
Do let them know if you're running late, so they can coordinate the meal in case they're serving warm food.
Don't show up an hour after you were invited without letting them know. Or worse yet, cancel on them an hour before the event. They probably already made food, prepared goodie bags, or considered your presence for going-ons at the event. If you committed, show up. It's that simple.
You must be one of them government people.
Mother.
Hey everyone, did you remember to subscribe?
Did he mention subscribe?
Hey, thanks for coming back to see our latest episode.
And stay tuned, we've got a couple of specials coming up for you.
And like I said earlier,
Always
subscribe
subscribe.
over here.
Right there, guys.
Subscribe.
Do it.